Vicky, good morning.
Morning, Chris.
Now then, a conversation about fit if we can. I mean, the first thing I want to ask you is, did that stuff from Boris Johnson yesterday make any difference?
To fit, no. And to the events industry in general, probably, because they've delayed the go date from the 1st of October. But from a fit perspective, it didn't come as a surprise to me or to our team. And basically May 21, and we are nearly at the end of May 21, I don't think it's going to have an enormous amount of effect, to be honest, Chris.
No, I mean, we've still got, what, 7 months to go or whatever. So
yeah.
Even though he's talking about it being until possible sort of semi-lockdowns until March, still should give plenty of time, shouldn't it, really?
Absolutely. And obviously the lights don't go out just because there's not a go date. You know, we will, as always, be working through our marketing program, selling to exhibitors, engaging with stakeholders. And as always with FIT, you know, we're on a 2-year cycle. There's an awful lot of work that goes in those 2 years before show opens. And I suppose COVID and the lack of exhibitions in general have got me really deep diving and thinking about improving the return on investment for everybody involved in FIT, the FIT show family, if you like, in the sense that we've got to start making the return on investment count from the minute they sign to come on board to well after the show closes. So although those 3 days are the pinnacle of it, we're sort of doing more, if you like, than ever before to engage the community into FIT show. So I think it's in a strange sort of way, it's been a lesson and a learning curve for us, really.
I mean, is there even more enthusiasm, do you feel, for FIT than normal? I know it's always very popular and everybody looks forward to it. But I sense that it's going to be even more important this coming year, simply because of what we've gone through.
Absolutely. And I think that, you know, the stand sales alone will tell that story. You know, we've had throughout the summer, we switched our conversation and our messaging at the beginning of lockdown to really reflect the mood and the events that were unfolding in our community. And from the 1st of June, we started back on our road of encouraging exhibitors to commit. And we've had a June, July and August that saw unprecedented support. You know, a massive amount of brands joined the floor plan, and from big, medium to small companies, we've had huge interest from overseas. So I think that from an exhibitor perspective and an industry perspective, there's a real hunger for face-to-face connection. You know, it's like people are desperate to reconnect. And I've been in this industry, i.e. the exhibition industry, for too many years to mention. And I've worked across a lot of sectors, across a lot of countries, across a lot of different types of shows. And I have to say that the FIT community are the most engaged with face-to-face, the most engaged with networking, socializing. And I think FIT is really going to be seen as a beacon of hope and the future. So I think we're going to see unprecedented support from exhibitors, but perhaps more importantly, we're going to see a renewed enthusiasm from our visitors and particularly installers. You know, I think that we're going to really benefit from what's happened as an industry.
I mean, there's going to be an awful lot to see, isn't there? I mean, there hasn't been any opportunity really for people with new products to demonstrate them particularly over the last year. So
no.
That's got to be a big opportunity, hasn't it, really? And that's got to encourage the installers to come in.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that a lot of the companies, the savvy companies that have, you know, spent this lockdown period, obviously coping with the V-shaped recovery as the home improvement sector has, but a lot of companies have invested and spent time rationalizing their products and services and investing in innovation. And I think that FitShow will be a fantastic platform to see what's new. And also, I think, you know, from the installer perspective, and it's been said that the FitShow will be a collection of brands that will be immediately recognized as fit, pardon the pun, fit to do business, because not only have they survived, but they've rationalized, they've invested in innovation, and that they're at that show in a financially able position, and not only financially, but logistically able to do business. So I think it's going to be a brilliant showcase for that. And I think that our communication to installers will be all around seeing the best in the industry to do better business for them, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it, that if it was happening now, then it may be a bit of a question because everybody's so busy and getting through back orders and so on. But by the time we come round to May next year, hopefully things will have settled down and installers have got the chance to come out and come to Fit and see the new products and talk to people. Whereas exactly. Now they probably wouldn't be able to be fair.
No, they wouldn't have the time. But equally, you know, the well-recorded and reported shift in the industry, there's been a few casualties, unfortunately, along the way. I think installers more than ever before will be looking to broaden their offering, to broaden their suppliers, you know, to really sort of do better business themselves. And I think that they can achieve all of that in one day at FitShow, which if they were left to sort of plough through the internet or any of the other methods, it would take them months, and it's months they don't have. So that's what we're trying to do with FitShow is offer a really good range of innovative new products, but also showcase the best in the industry.
Yeah, I think that's, you mentioned earlier that you've had interest from overseas, and that intrigues me, particularly with Brexit hanging around the corner and things. So can you just talk a bit more about that? Are these people that you haven't come across before, or how's that come about?
Well, we started to see an increase in interest in 2019, and many of those brands are coming back. I mean, Cortizo is probably a really good example of that. You know, that they take a significant amount of space. But I think it's broader than that. I think it's, we've had a lot of interest from Turkey, from Italy. I think these companies are seeing the UK as a wealth of opportunity, and Brexit is not in their way to do trade and to do business here in the UK. So I think that FitShow will again be a great showcase of the best in class, if you like, from overseas.
What about new products or new things within the FitShow? Can you talk a bit about that? Because I know that you've broadened the whole scope, haven't you, really, of Fit?
Yeah, I mean, for FitShow, as you know, Chris, you were very involved in the launch. FitShow started out as a windows and doors show, and I think that it is, obviously at its core, it still is a windows and doors show, but it can offer a lot more. And in recognition of the switch up in the sector generally, where consumers are more demanding, therefore putting those demands on installers who are looking to broaden their products. So one of the sectors that we're going to be really tackling at FitShow is outdoor living. So really showcasing, we've got some existing brands who already tackle those industries, but we're getting new interest from garden rooms and offices, fencing, decking, soffits, guttering. We're getting an awful lot of, I suppose because consumers have spent a lot of time at home and are continuing, a lot of them, to work from home. So they're, you know, investing in their outdoor, making that another room of their homes. So we're going to be tackling that. And we've also got, obviously, Visit Glass, which we launched in 2019, which again is it broadens the offering. And it seems crazy to say that we had to develop a section of a glass and glazing show dedicated to glass. But as I say, when we launched Fit Show, it was windows and doors, and the broadening of that means that we've had huge demand from the audience that they want the Visit Glass approach. So glass processing is really, really important.
Yeah, I think that it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because that gives wide scope for installers with new products. If they're looking to widen the range of their offering, all the outdoor products and the roofline products are a big addition, isn't it, for them, really?
Huge. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the installers out there are not only looking for new innovation in the products that they're already involved with, but they're looking to broaden their portfolios in terms of, as I was saying earlier, in terms of, you know, the brands they're supplying, but the products they're supplying, so that they can go and they can talk about the roof lights, they can talk about composite decking, they can talk about alley decking. You know, that there's going to be every opportunity for them to do better business, and that will be by looking at all of these products side by side at Fit Show.
What's your expectation of numbers when it comes to exhibitors? Are you expecting there to be more exhibitors than last time?
It's not, and I would say this, wouldn't I? But it's not a criteria I judge it on, Chris. I'm trying to, if you like, curate a show of quality. I'm trying to curate the best in the industry. And it's not always about numbers of exhibitors. It's about number of products. It's about scope of products, number of brands also. Previously on Fit, for instance, we would take one exhibitor, they would book, we'd promote them as the exhibitor and almost ignore the several brands that sit under that umbrella. So we're doing more work in encouraging that. And I think that 2021 is going to be a very different feel to Fit Show than 2019, mainly because we've moved it from 3 halls to 2. That's not to say we've made it smaller in terms of the net available stand space, but it's going to be across a smaller footprint. So it's going to feel a bit busier. There's not going to be those, 4-meter gangways through it. It's going to have a bit more of an energy about it because it's across a smaller footprint. And I think that's really important. I also think very relevant is that, there used to be a thing about Fit Show is the biggest stands were the best. And I think companies are being really savvy about their marketing budgets, and they're looking to book space that corresponds with what they need to show, rather than thinking that being the biggest stand in the show means they're the best. So I think that we may see some very previously massive exhibitors on smaller stand space. I'm not sure anybody will actually notice that, to be honest with you, but because there'll be well-designed areas, there'll be an opportunity to really sort of creatively show what they've got that's new, show their innovation, show their fitness for business, and it doesn't all have to be about size.
No, I completely agree with you there. I think that's probably a good thing, to make it into a slightly more concise show and get that energy in there. And I think that's probably what the installers want to see as well, to be able to get round and be able to feel a bit of a buzz in the place. I mean, how are you going to be talking to the installers over this next sort of 7 months before that time? I mean, obviously, apart from advertising and so on, do you have other ways of communicating with installers to keep them informed of what will be there and what they can see?
Yes, I mean, one of the challenges we have, and you all know this very well, is that installers are looking for innovation. They're also looking for best in industry. So they're not just looking for new products, but it is a major focus for them. So one of the challenges we've always had around FIT is encouraging the exhibitors to tell us what they're launching. There's an awful lot about being under wraps, you know, before they do a big launch at the show. So we're going to be putting less focused energy on finding out what they're launching, but finding out that they are launching, and perhaps with some snippets of information around what product it is, what colour range it is, or whatever it is they're launching, without being specific to the installers, is to be able to say to an installer, we will have 400 new brands, or 500 new products, or 600 new colorways, or, you know, it's about being more generic, but being more, at the same time, a bit more factual around what they can expect to see. I think also, again, going back to our new feature of outdoor living, it's really going to be important for us to show every installer that a visit to FIT Show is not a day off, it's a day invested in their business, and that there's going to be an awful lot going on there. In addition to exhibitors, there's going to be educational content, there's going to be seminars tackling industry issues, there's going to be ways for them to engage in order to improve their business. Because at the end of the day, what matters to an installer is making more profit, you know? So it's really making sure that we communicate all the benefits of FIT Show and how it can directly impact their businesses. And I think that's the answer to your question, is we're going to be personalising our communication better than we have before. So talking to installers who are the heroes of our show, we're going to be talking to them about what they want to hear, rather than just, as we perhaps previously have been guilty of, doing very generic messaging around it's big, for instance, which was one of the campaigns we used. Oh, it's big, so you better come. You know, we've got to be talking to these installers as the business people that they are, and they're going to be interested in how FIT Show is going to make their business better, and that's what we've got to deliver.
I mean, it's all about, isn't it, being face to face, and this is going to be probably the first opportunity for the industry to actually meet face to face, I suspect. I don't think there's going to be anything else in between.
No.
The way things are going. What's your feeling about, I mean, it's interesting, Glasstec are doing a sort of a virtual exhibition, aren't they, in a month or so time, and then they're having their exhibition next year. What's your view on virtual exhibitions? Can they work? And what would happen if COVID carries on and suddenly you have to revert to a different way of doing it? Would you go that route towards a virtual exhibition?
The short answer is no, I wouldn't. I think this industry is about touch, feel, tilt, turn, slide. It's about looking at the products. It's about looking in the whites of the eyes of the people selling those products. Do I think virtual works? It can, but I don't think for this industry it's right. I have personally a bit of an issue, and I hope I'm never forced to sort of go back on these words. I have a bit of an issue with exhibition organisers, or anybody really, trying to pivot their business into such a completely different direction to make money. you know, our duty as Fit Show organisers is to protect our brand, and our brand is very much about face-to-face meeting. And I don't think it's possible to do business via a virtual event, because if it were, all you'd need to do is send your web address out, or your virtual showroom address out, to all your prospects, sit back and wait for the business to roll in. And I think if that were doable, there wouldn't be such a thing as Fit. And I'm not about to try and pivot my business. And I'm very fortunate to be part of a group, Montgomery Group, who now own Fit Show, to be part of a group who feel passionately about protecting the communities they serve. And so no, I've been on a couple of the virtual shows that have been knocking around, and no, sorry.
No, it doesn't do it, no.
It doesn't do it for me.
Agree with you. What we can really look forward to is a Fit Show in May that we can all go to and enjoy and learn from. And it's been very good talking to you, Nikki, about it. Is there anything else that you want to add to the people out there and tell them about that we haven't talked about yet?
No, I think the only thing I would add to the conversation, Chris, is that Fit Show is the industry's event. It doesn't belong to me. It doesn't belong to Montgomery Group. It belongs to the industry. And we all really need to throw everything behind it for 2021. It's going to be the first, as you've said, the first opportunity to celebrate our industry, celebrate the recovery from this awful time that we've been through. And I just want everybody to get involved. And that doesn't mean I want people necessarily to sign on the dotted line to take a stand, but I want everybody in this industry to feel that they own a part of Fit Show and that they need to be involved in it.
Well said. Nikki West, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Lovely to talk to you.